Get ready for some great music and great stories. Band in Seattle starts right now. Welcome to Band in Seattle. I'm Xander Denke, and with me is Aaron Roden, creator of the Airdate podcast on ChiroRadio.com, to talk about tonight's band, Maszer.
Maszer is the brainchild of Tel Aviv transplant David Rappaport, or Stitch as he is known. He and drummer Joseph Braley toured extensively the past 3 years in the band Rainwolf, opening for acts like Black Sabbath and the Pixies. Prepping for his next musical endeavor, Stitch spent a year in his studio writing new music with an Eastern flair. With the addition of the versatile singer Katie Blackstock, Maszer has a complete and unique sound that will excite any rock and roll fan.
So get set. We'll be right back with Maszer.
We had come up with like 1,000 different band names, and it's so hard to do these days. It's like everything is taken. I was working at the time as a bicycle delivery guy in downtown LA, and I remember looking over at my bike and it had a broken spoke, and I was like, Broken Spoke. And then we look it up online, there's like 3 bands out there called Broken Spoke. It just seemed impossible. We were getting really down about it. And then Stitch thought of this word, Maszer, which was a Hebrew word for message. And he thought that was cool, like, oh, message. And then there was another word that, meant tithing, like Maszer with the Z, and we're like, whoa, that's cool.
I guess in biblical time, they used to give 10% of their crop. In modern time, they try to give 10% from the profit.
We've all been doing this a long time, and we know how hard it can be. It would feel amazing to be able to write somebody a check and say, hey, your van broke down, go fix it so you can go on tour.
And the days of, labels scouting out new bands and just throwing money at them are over. So the idea of, if we do find some success, finding a way to just kind of like pass it on.
Songwriting was written around the rise of the Occupy movement. A lot of people had hate towards it, and I was like, okay, if you don't support it but still appreciate the people trying to make a change for the better, right? It's a monopoly game that has been, won by a few.
Yeah, it's a very political song. It's one of my favorites because we get to both sing it together the whole way through. So
It's very serious, but it's very hopeful at the same time, and it almost feels like being at a protest or a march.
Fata Mirage was the first song we ever recorded, the first week we became a band. It's a song about the unknown.
I think Fata Mirage was kind of a turning point for the way we looked at songwriting, and at that point Maszer was born before we even knew it.
The imagery I had in my head was a kid having a birthday party. And it's almost the time, and there's nobody there, and they will surely come.
Stitch is, he doesn't stop. He's always going, doing stuff for the band. I mean, he lives it and breathes it.
Dallas when I was 19 years old, auditioning for a Latin hip-hop reggae band. He and another guitar player were both auditioning at the same time, and the other guy was really good, you know, doing all these crazy noodling and stuff. But Stitch grabbed his guitar and just like this wall of noise came out of his amp. You know, it was like very Sonic Youth, psychedelic, noisy stuff, and I was just like, where have you been all my life?
For me, I rarely manipulate the song. The song manipulates me. It kind of shows me how it wants to be written. That's what I'm trying to be, just a channel for it to go through. Something happens when you play live. There's a certain feeling that even though everybody's watching you, you're not really there. And there's those moments, especially when you can perform at that level, you feel comfortable enough to let loose and fly away while performing, which is just the greatest feeling. You have to just let go and do it. For Holocaust survival, right? So everything is sort of around that thing growing up. There's always this feeling of something bad's about to happen. I can tell a lot of stories and go into that whole aspect of the life over there, but I come from a cool area in Israel between Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. up in Israel, there was only one TV channel. That's it. But the nice thing about it, everybody knew the same thing, so it creates this really tight culture of people. Everybody knows the same thing. It's hard to explain. Which has changed. Israel has changed, like the U.S. has changed. My dad is a hard worker. I barely saw him as a kid. He was just going all the time working. So, but he did good. So, you know, it was like nothing was missing, but you couldn't ask for anything too. You know, it was kind of, you don't want to, you know, burden the budget kind of thing. So you kind of have to figure out yourself.
In addition to being an amazingly talented and well-rounded band, Maszer is also extremely generous. The word Maszer in Hebrew means tithing, or giving of 1/10 part of something. As such, the band has committed to giving at least 10% of their profits to other artists in their community, which, I've got to say, is something pretty darn special.
And I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
We'll be right back with Maszer.
The medley definitely takes you on a journey. There's a metal song in there, Roar. There's Dancing Mice, which is just a dancey song.
So at some point, all these little pieces became just one long set.
So this is like 4 different short songs and one that's 8 minutes long. So there's why would we stop? Just keep going.
Katie Blackstock, she can do a songbird thing, like the sweetest stuff you'll ever hear. And then she can get down on Maszer and just like give you some like total fury.
She came in and immediately, like, it was kind of like that chemistry was already there. Like she should have been there years ago. We've only been playing together for about a year, but she and Stitch have spent so much time together to the point where, you know, I listen sometimes and you can't even tell that it's 2 different people singing. It almost sounds like one voice sometimes.
It starts with friendship. That's why we got together to begin with, you know. The first time we tried it, it was wow.
I always knew that I wanted to be in a band. I've been really scared of it my whole life. And I think it's because I love it so much, and with anything that you love that much, it has the power to sort of destroy you. Now that I am actually doing it, there's no way I could turn around and go back to that. I think it's also sharing yourself, you know, and when you can find a way to share yourself honestly, that feels really good. joked around that my hair is one of my instruments too, because I definitely like to throw it around a little bit. As a vocalist, my body is my instrument, and I think I definitely try to use that to the full extent as much as I can. Just being a part of the music still, not just standing there and waiting for my turn to sing again. The aggressive part is definitely a new thing for me. I think it's something I've always wanted to do, since, especially, growing up in church and singing mostly harmonies with friends until the last couple years. I think I just needed some dudes to get really loud with.
Hi, I'm Ryan Jorgensen. I'm the projectionist for Mazzer's live shows. Outside of that, I'm kind of always working in video production, music videos and documentaries.
Ryan and I have been friends for years. He's amazing. He does so much, not just for us, but for lots of other bands in the community.
Needless to say, when I first heard of Maszer, they kind of dropped it on everybody. Like, nobody really knew Maszer was happening. Then all of a sudden there was a music video and the style was undeniable. I spent 2 weeks to a month maybe, like, just prepping by myself to even be ready to work with Maszer. For me, the projection stuff is an extension of the music video. I come at it from the same perspective of discovery and having some time with the artists, which is why I'm always hesitant to say yes to other people when they ask. I can't come at it from a place of not having, like, curated the footage and the assets, like, carefully, while carefully considering their music. Decisions. It's so drum heavy, and that's the part of the show where they're coming down off the stage, and I've never seen a band like come down into the audience like that myself, especially not the drummer.
It's a lot more fun for me because I can just pick any spot that looks like a fun spot where people seem to really be partying, or they're not partying hard enough.
Joseph Braley is, without a doubt, my favorite drummer. I think he's absolutely incredible.
I think he's one of the best drummers out there. I mean, there's nothing that he can't do, and his style is just killer.
I love watching him play drums. At practice, I'll just turn around, and if it's a time where I'm not singing, and then I forget, like, oh, I'm supposed to be singing now.
Keep walking, slowly walking down the aisle.
Half the fun of music is actually creating something, but the other half is just being an entertainer. And I was just being on stage, and it feels good to get that validation. Like, you pour your heart into something that you love, and it's like, oh, for me, this is what music is. Like, this is what the music from inside of me sounds like and is. And when you see other people enjoying it, that's a really great feeling and really validating. And it's kind of better than anything I've ever felt.
I would just like to go on the road. I would like to share my music with the world. That's all I see in a really broad sense.
Spent a lot of time in a van touring around the world, and I'd like to see us doing that, with my brothers and sisters in Maszer, just doing it every single night.
I think because Maszer is the special project, and I really want to take that all over the world and tour with it. But I don't know, music is endless. You never know what's going to happen, and dreams come true.
All right, that's it for tonight's Band in Seattle. If you want to hear more, check us out on bandinseattle.com, where you can hear full concerts and find links for more information about our bands and where they're playing next. Aaron?
And to stay up with the latest on the music scene and hear exclusive interviews with bands such as Pearl Jam, Jurassic 5, Death Cab for Cutie, and many, many more, check out the Air Raid podcast on KairoRadio.com or at our website, air-raid.net.
It's definitely worth it. Thanks for watching. Join us next week for more great music and great stories on Band in Seattle.